three. 1, 2, 3. Let's go.
All right, everybody, welcome to Teaching Crypto, a special Friday edition. Hey, stop what you're doing right now. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button as we charge our way to 700. Please spread the word. You greatly help us out. We appreciate every single one of you. But if you have not done so, stop right now. Hit that subscribe button. And also, Super Chats are now available for Teaching Crypto.
And that means that the Tip the Teachers QR code goes away.
Bye-bye. Super Chats are available. We also do have a store. Got some interesting merchandise in there. I think it's pretty cool stuff. But hey, we're going to give you two amazing tokens today that we really have not discussed at all. And we did some digging in the last couple days, Mr. FOMO. I think we found some gems that are actually, if you were in the process of saying, I want to hold on to two alts for a year, these would be very good categories because they weren't heavy involved in the last bull run. And so I think these are two possible gems here that really have a chance to do very well in someone's portfolio. So the first one I want to talk about is Injective. Now, if you have not heard of Injective, it's very interesting. And so the first thing I want to talk about is tokenomics. So Mr. FOMO, you can see my screen here. Last week, they burned over 5,700 tokens. Now you might say, what's the deal here? They do this every single week. Why does that matter? Well, when you talk about tokenomics, I think that sometimes is missed. A lot of people show the charts, but here's the reality. The circulating supply is only 80 million. Not bad at all. Not bad. Total supply only be 100 million. So the burn actually does matter. And here's what I love, Mr. FOMO. Market cap, 736 million, but the daily volume, even though Bitcoin is struggling the last day and a half or so, 32.5 million. It's a lot for a token that's well under 1 billion. And so this has done very well in the last year. Did you know a year ago, Mr. FOMO, this was at $1.21, and it actually did hit recently $10. And so it's now kind of went back to $9.18. So that's pretty significant there. Now, I want to share something else here because we got some background noise there. Never know what's going to happen here on Teaching Crypto. They have something called Helix, and that is a decentralized order book and exchange that's gotten pretty popular recently. Zero gas fees. So that's kind of trying to compete with ETH. Something very interesting. And then also, Mr. FOMO, if you do actually go on to their ecosystem and stake, you can get a decent APR, 15.18%. So I think this has some things going for it. If you've been holding it for the past year or 6 months, you've done very well compared to some of the other tokens. Now, as the market cap goes up, they're going to need more and more volume. Do I think they're going to 10x in the next year? I would say probably not. But I think this is a very nice item for alts, especially if you're going to limit your alts to have in your portfolio here. I'm a big fan of Injective, and I'm going to be honest, I did get some over the past 24 hours. So we like to be honest on this program. I am an Injective buyer in the short term. Again, I'm not married to any token, but I like this one going to $10 before the end of the summer. So that's I think it was a very safe 10% for me. I think it could do much better, but I'm a buyer here. I like it in the short term once Bitcoin recovers. Again, it could go much higher than 10. That's kind of my target here.
I like what I've heard about it so far from you. I haven't done enough of a deep dive on it to really make an informed decision, but I love a token burn. Who doesn't love a good token burn in crypto, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're going to burn anything in crypto, it might as well be your tokens, so that you can. And what I love about them is that they've been burning tokens through this bear market, and so they've been kind of moving against the grain as far as price action, which helps the investors, right? So that's something that you can count on when the market takes a downturn, is those weekly burns sort of propping up your value. And I wonder if the weekly burns aren't sort of like, I wonder if that's maybe protection against future regulation. When the market is that volatile, if you have protections, with built in to protect price action for your customers, I wonder if that's something that they're doing to sort of prop themselves up.
I have got some information for you.
Okay.
That I don't think you know. There are two big time investors in Injective. When I say big, I mean really big. Do you want to guess?
Elon Musk.
No. Binance and Mark Cuban.
Binance and Mark Cuban.
So that's big. That is big. It doesn't mean it's going to succeed, but those are heavy, heavy hitters. Now, Binance is very, very right now controversial because of all the trouble they may or may not be in. As far as I know, Binance still has billions of dollars to play with, and we know Mark Cuban. Now, he has failed in the past, let's be honest. But to even get those partnerships, you've got to be the real deal, okay? I'm just saying. And it's still under $1 billion. That gets me excited. If you can lure in those two people, CZ and Mark Cuban, and you're under $1 billion, and we're just beginning the bull run. I gotta say, and you're doing a token burn every single week, and right now you only have 80 million supply. Not bad at all.
All right. There's one thing. I just looked this up on the air, so you're going to have to forgive me for springing this on you. But I just looked up the whale wallets, and if CoinCarp is right, this is not great. So you got 15,000 holders. 89% is held by the top 10. And so I would assume that Binance and Mark Cuban are somewhere in there.
But if they're not gonna sell, that would be good if it's them, because they're not selling anytime soon.
Sure. So, yeah. Well, right. If they are the ones that hold the 89%, then that's good. But I have a feeling that there are other people holding.
Okay, but let me ask you this: Are the whales selling now, or are they going to sell?
But then you've got the top 100 holders controlling 97%. Now we know the 98 other holders in there are not Mark Cuban and Binance. So my only point here is that there's going to be a lot of sell pressure when this thing pumps. And so I don't think that's now. If you're going to invest in Injective, make sure you are prepared to take profits. If you're on a platform that allows you to set that up to where once it hits a certain point, you can take those, then go ahead and do that. But this price action should happen fairly quickly.
I agree with you. I agree with you, but I think that a lot of them got in early. But here's the thing: I don't think they're selling under $1 billion. And remember, for me, I'm looking. If I get a 10 to 20%, I'm going to take it personally. Not financial advice. Don't forget, guys, hit that subscribe and that like button, and keep reminding you as we push our way to 700 here. I'm not gonna get greedy here. So yes, if you're expecting a 10x over the next year, probably not going to happen. But for me, in the short term, even the charts here looked really good before we had that Bitcoin pullback. And we're going to talk about what caused that Bitcoin pullback. It's not what you think. Not a lot of channels are talking about this. We're going to talk about it at the end. Now, you have a token that has been requested by our audience that I think is even just as good, if not a better buy. Go ahead and take it away.
This is one that I wasn't even really on my radar. Like I've spoken about it before, but only in terms of price action and how much it was moving based on like the last 7 and 30 days. This was back when I was doing the crypto headline shows. And so it's one that I never really did a deep dive on until one of our subscribers asked us to do it. And while I was doing this, that I'm looking with a skeptical eye, right? I'm always looking at these things and I'm going, where's the rug pull? Where's the problem? Where's the reason why this thing isn't what it says it is. And I had a hard time with quant. I really did. There's only a few cons that I could really come up with, and that's low volume. You see here, the volume versus market cap is only about 1%. That's not great, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. Only 138,000 total holders, and the top 10 whales hold about 30%. We'll look at that in a little bit too. But really, they're an interoperability play. They use something called the overledger network. And so the overledger is like a ledger that keeps track of all the different chains. And if you watch the Bitcoin video, you saw me, or you heard me talk about how each crypto is like its own email address that can send money, but only to other email addresses on the same chain, right? So if you got Bitcoin, you got to send it to a Bitcoin address, Ethereum to an Ethereum, same thing all the way through. But what Quant is trying to do with Overledger is allow you to go from Bitcoin to Ethereum to Injective to whatever you want and trade those in real time. And so the Overledger would keep track and then update those separate chains as those transactions happen. And so they're billed as the first operating system built for blockchains, and they're bridging the gap between blockchains. The founders have loads of relevant experience. They were chief information officers, chief information security officers for MasterCard, NSW Ambulance, eHealth. They've also been, UK ministers. They work with the EU Parliament, several central banks. They've been fintech authors. The list goes on of the qualifications for these founders. And then something that you and I hit on, and something that we really love about these tokens, is this low supply.
I love it.
That supply. It's under 15 million for total supply for quant there. Those are the kinds of numbers we like to see. Bitcoin in the tens of millions, quant, barely over 10 million as far as the max supply.
Reminds me of eGold, Multiverse X.
Right. And so when you look at that price, and people were turned off by that $100 price, right? But that's not the true story. The true story is that the supply is so low that it's driving up the price, right? The scarcity argument. And so this to me is a project that I really tried to look for holes in it, but I couldn't find any. Even their website is beautiful, and I'm not going to pull that up for you right now, but we talked about whale addresses. I'll go back and show you that. Quant-rich addresses, versus what we were seeing with Injective. You've got the top 100 holders here under 40%. The top 10, though, hold about 30%. So there's still going to be a lot of sell pressure there, because those people will be getting rid of a lot.
Yeah,
right?
I love that 14 million supply in a bull run.
That's
when it really starts kicking in.
Great supply, right? When people start buying that up, the price should skyrocket based on that supply.
Yeah.
And so the thing that I would argue about the volume is you need quant in order to function on the overledger, right? Right now, who's taking a bunch of different cryptos where they would need to function in an overledger situation? Not a lot of people. But as crypto grows and we grow towards mass adoption, more people are going to be trying to figure out a way to exchange different cryptos for US dollars and other cryptos so that they can maintain a balance. When that happens, quant and other interoperability plays like quant are going to be super important. And so I think with that low supply and the importance of interoperability, quant is one that you have to keep your eye on.
Definitely. I've got my eye on it, because here's the thing. We know what happens during a bull run. We've been through it. When people get excited and they start holding these tokens for longer and you only have 14 million, I'm pumped. Especially the market cap's not huge. So this thing, I could easily see a 5x in this thing on the next 12 days.
Yeah, I mean, the market cap, and we'll go, let me go back to coin market cap here. When you look at the market cap there, it's already at about 1.2 billion. So realistically, in the bull run, you're looking for maybe a 3 to 5x. I'm not going to, I don't like predictions, but a 3 to 5x would be realistic and beautiful, right? You see,
but I think what I like about both these tokens here, sorry to interrupt you.
No.
I think they're both going to hold their value. I don't think you're going to see a huge drop off from today. I really don't.
And those are two things that you really that we like to see in tokenomics today, right? We're really breaking into the tokenomics here. One, low supply, low total supply, and then two, token burns, right? Those two things maintain value for the investors. When you can find those things, you've really got something special in the crypto market, especially when you see these meme coins with like 4 trillion and hundreds of billions in their supply.
Those are gambles. Those are complete gambles.
That's going to be hard to drive that price way up, especially with some of their market caps now. But when you see a market cap like this and a low supply and, or injective of the market cap like that and a token burn, you can be pretty sure that you're going to see some positive price action in a bull run.
Absolutely. I 100% agree. So I want to talk about something important that very few channels, in fact, we might be one of the very few that are giving you guys this information. What happened to Bitcoin yesterday? Actually, it's really easy to explain. It's not as detailed as people are trying to look. Is it manipulation? Does it have to do with the stock market? Well, actually, what happened was the U.S. government, as you know, secured a lot of Bitcoin they need to sell, and they're doing it over time. Yesterday, they sold 8,200 Bitcoin. And my reaction to this was, imagine waiting another year to sell these. How much more money they could have made. Too bad they don't watch this program. So it's just crazy. We're going to talk about Voyager in a second, Christopher. Hold on. I've got some Voyager information at the end. Mr. FOMO, this kind of explains why we were at 30K and just dumped down like that. And again, these for me, not financial advice. This for me, not financial advice. These are the times you want to secure more Bitcoin, right? A year from now, you would do anything you could to get Bitcoin under 30K. I'm telling you, we are not going to be anywhere near 30K, whether it's 50, whether it's 60, whether it's 70. I can't tell you, but we are not going to be at 30K a year from now. And unless the world is coming to an end, which you never know, we're not even then. You're not going to be seeing 30K Bitcoin. So getting Bitcoin under 30K right now, trust me, guys, it's great. It's great. Not financial advice, but it's great. So I want to mention something about Voyager. First of all, Kirkland and Ellis is claiming through one of our viewers that spoke to them that they're not responsible for the breach. Our mediation is coming in October. Now, if that does not work until November, there will be some kind of court case with Alameda, FTX, and Voyager, and that probably will take place in 2024. I would not expect any distribution over the next couple months unless somehow the mediation does work. If the mediation does work, you should see some type of distribution coming up in November. However, I'm thinking there's only two possibilities for that. I don't think it's going to be a crypto distribution. It's either going to be USDC or it's going to be cash. And so one of the things that you may want to do if you've moved is update your address. There is you go on the app and you tell them, they ask you to do a couple steps for them. So I'm expecting either USDC or mail. And my guess is, this is not official, they're going to be mailing out checks because of just the complete misjudgment of how long it would take for these withdrawals to go through. Just my opinion. And these transfers.
Yeah, and he brings up a good point, though. Bitcoin is a supported token. And so, regardless of the price, if they don't do some sort of redistribution with Bitcoin and Ethereum and the other supported tokens, then you should get what you're saying. Like, you should get a percentage of the Bitcoin and not a percentage of the cash value.
I don't think that's what they're doing, though, unfortunately. No, because I think they're going USDC or cash. So I don't hold me to this, but the Alameda FTX is not going to be in Bitcoin, unfortunately. It's going to be cash value. So unfortunately, as Bitcoin goes up, if you had a majority of Bitcoin, you're kind of getting screwed. Sorry, we all are. I think what crypto you got back is what you got back, and at this point, you're getting USDC cash value back. I don't think because they redistributed for this initial 36. That money now is not held in Bitcoin. So think about it. If they had to, once the settlement is over, if they have to go buy Bitcoin and Bitcoin is at 50K, you're losing.
They're not going to do that, right?
You're losing. So
Right.
no, you're gonna. I mean, it is what it is, guys. It sucks.
Yeah.
That's why I was pushing for just liquidate the damn thing, get everyone what they want back now. As you have great prices, right? But they're not doing that. So
Well, they
it is what it is. It sucks because if you
we've
liquidated the
been
140
screwed this
now,
whole time. This entire process has not gone the way of the creditor, right? From the beginning, everybody said, "Oh, we got to look out for the creditor. We got to look out for the customers." That never happened, not once.
no.
Nobody in this process really looked out for us, and so that is kind of what we're.
So if you're waiting for the next distribution to get Bitcoin, not financial advice, you're going to be waiting a long time. Don't do that. The next time you get your distribution, don't be surprised if Bitcoin is over 40K. Again, that's just my opinion. Could be wrong. But if you're waiting to get Bitcoin, you gotta kind of may want to act. I don't always make the right decision, but FYI, I have picked up, and Mr. FOMO can confirm this. I have picked up some Bitcoin myself, and for my situation, it's rather a large amount of Bitcoin. So, do what you want with that information. I believe heavily we're going to go up in the fall, and then next year, I do predict all-time highs in Bitcoin. And so not financial advice again, and make sure it's in a safe place, right? Maybe that's a show we need to do here, Mr. FOMO, is what are some safe alternatives? Because you don't want to have it on a central exchange for the next 18 months. It's just too risky. To each his own. But there are some people offering cold storage for you now if you don't want to do it yourself. Some people are comfortable, some people are not. So that's something that we want to talk about. But guys, before you leave, if you have not done so, hit that subscribe button. We also have a super thanks, super chat available as well. Mr. FOMO, anything you want to say?
Like the U.S. government and sell your crypto and sell your Bitcoin now. Wait until we get into the heart of the bull run.
Yeah,
you can get rid of it. They caused a dip in the market, and I don't know who's advising them, but they really missed, right?
You'll be watching this channel. Hey, if you know anyone from the U.S. government, send them a link to this channel.
Is what if they needed the money? If they were so hard up for the cash that they had to get rid of that Silk Road Bitcoin in a hurry.
That this decision to sell it is going to look insane, not only 2 years from now, but imagine what it's going to look like in 2030 when they.
Yeah, it's going to be quicker than that. In about a year, it's going to look dumb.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah, they could have waited a month or two and probably gotten at least 35K. But again, big time shorts coming up for Mr. FOMO. Watch out for those. Hit that subscribe, hit that like, hit that bell notification, and we will see you guys later. For Mr. FOMO, this is AZcrypto. Have an amazing weekend, guys. We'll see you soon.
See ya.